Okay, it's recording. That's the main thing. Okay, Chav Tes Amid Aleph. As Chav Tes Amid Aleph, we're by the Mishnah. Again, apologize. It's been a hectic day. It's regions. It's wild. Says the Mishnah. Maybe get Eretz Yisrael. Now you're going to get in Eretz Yisrael, so therefore you do not have to say B'fanai Nechta. Correct? The Chala, and now you get sick. So you're a shliach lahilacha to bring the get. You can send the get in the hand of somebody else. In other words, since he doesn't, you don't have to say b'fanei nechtam, and he can't say b'fanei nechtam, so you could send it with him. However, if the baal of the get said, "Listen, right? Go ahead and take from her and bring to me a chayfetz. Take from her and bring to me a chayfetz. You cannot send it in the hand of somebody else. Why? He doesn't want his pikad to be in the hand of somebody else. So there seems to be like a dual shlichus over here. One, bring from me that pikadain and bring back the get. So once you cannot go ahead and fulfill the bringing back of the pikadon, you can't get. In other words, it's two distinct shlichusim. However, they seem bound together. As the Gemara will get into this discussion. So he wants dafka. He trusts you with pikadon. He doesn't trust somebody else with pikadon. And since that's the case, therefore you cannot go ahead and appoint a shliach to bring back the get. Amrav Kahana Chalatanan. When it says that you can go ahead and appoint another shliach, is dafka chala. Rashi says the honest, where you are an honest. Who are din l'chol einsim, not dafka sickness, but any other einus, any other thing that you couldn't possibly have considered happening. Avali loy honest, loy yishachenu b'irachet. Stam. Let's say you're in Eretz Yisrael. The guy sends you, and you want to watch the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. So what are you going to say? Okay, I'll give it over to some other guy who's not a big Golden Knight fan like Baruch Greenfield, right? And in that case, you can't send it just to watch the game. It has to be dafka. If there was an honest, in that case, you would not be able to. Then you could go ahead and appoint another shliach, but not in minute. Says the Pshita. What's the chiddush? Chalat. The Mishnah said. Look at the words of the Mishnah. I maybe get Eretz Yisrael v'chala. It's mashma that lad. He's sick. Dafka, if he's sick, could he send it, but not if he's not. So the mother time I would think who adin afagav loy chala. I would think even if he doesn't get sick, he could watch the Golden Knights. And that he said sick. In other words, Mistama, a guy is appointed a shliach, right? A shliach does a shlichusa. In other words, he appointed you, you accepted it, and you're responsible. So then you would do it. So why did you learn? Why wouldn't you do it? Mistama, there's a reason. But not that reason is ma'akev. Not that reason would stop you from appointing another shliach. Not that would stop you from appointing another shliach. So I would think that enachinami, you could appoint a shliach just like this. Kamash malon, no. Dafka eines. Dafka, if there's a good reason that you could possibly carry out your shlichus, can you appoint a shliach? That's the chiddush of Kav Kahana. Now, hechidami, what exactly did the guy tell you? Idam alei chaylech. He said, go ahead and bring this get. Afagav loy chalinami. In other words, he wasn't makbid on you. He was makbid that the get there. So if he was just makbid that the get there, then why can't you go ahead even without getting sick? The either amalei, if he told you at haylech, and if he said you should bring it, then there's akpada afilu chalinami. Loy, Fred Gemara Kash like this. If in general he made you a shliach, but not the shliach, he made you a shliach. So why would it be? Why? If you have to get sick, watch the Golden Knights, send it with somebody else. That's all he cares about. What is you going ahead and getting there? Great, let it get there. So why would you need him getting sick? And if he was makbid on you, the shliach, then how in the world could you give it to somebody else, even if you are sick? The Gemara doesn't understand that Rav Kahana going ahead and saying pshat in the Mishnah that you can appoint a shliach if you got sick. If he wasn't makbid by not saying it should not be. You should be able to send a shliach without being sick. And if you dafka was makbid that you're the shliach, even if you do get sick, you should not be able to go ahead and send it in the hand of somebody else. You should not be able to go ahead and send it in the hand of somebody else. The Reb Shimon Gamliel, and if it's going to be the Tana of Shimon Gamliel, afilu cholanami lo, even if you get sick, even if you said hoylech, the Tanya, right? Hoylech get zela ishti, bring this get to my wife. I said mishalcha b'yadacher. You could send it in the hands of somebody else. However, at hoylech get ishti, you bring this get to my wife. Then you can't go ahead and send it with somebody else. Okay, and Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Omer, bein kach u bein kach. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel is of the opinion, bein kach u bein kach, whether yes or no, whether you said hoylech or at, you can't send it. Okay, just 1 second. I don't want to stop the video. I want to stop this. How do I pause this? So the Gemara wants to know, Miman of Shach, right? Miman of Shach, what exactly is the Metzias that's going on over here? If he said, bring the get, and there wasn't makbid on you, then the Tanakama, even Rav Chayla, should be able to say, send it. Rav Shimon Gamliel said, no way. And if he was makbid on you, then even the Tanakama would agree with Rav Shimon Gamliel that there's no way. So what exactly is the case of the Mishnah, right? What exactly is the case of the Mishnah according to the Rav Kahana that we explained? So Rav Shimon Gamliel, ben kach, one terrace I can give you, right, is where he said hoylech. And even when he says hoylech for who the chala. In other words, when it says hoylech in the Mishnah, don't think it means without getting sick. The addendum is hoylech. And if you get sick, you can send somebody else. That's attached to the word hoylech. Hoylech, and if you get sick, that's one day. Viva Yisema, at hoylech, you, dafka you, but my hakpada on you is only if you're healthy. And chala shiny, and if you get sick, then somebody else. So it works out very well, guys. Again, hoylech, take it, but I'm not just saying take it in general, and if you get sick, somebody else. Ad hoylech, you take it, and I'm makbid on you. However, I'm understanding that if you get sick, that it can't be you. That's the second. That's Iba Yisema, right? Another way to explain it, even Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, it's Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, and he would agree. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel would agree that when a person gets sick, whether hoylech or ad hoylech, you would be able to bring it because being hoylech is different. Tanan, the Mishnah says, I maybe get married to Yisrael. Someone means to get married to Yisrael, v'chol, and he gets sick. So he's married to Yisrael. He doesn't have to say b'fanei nichtav, b'fanei nechtav. You can send him with somebody else. That's our Mishnah. Unless you a stira about who says to two people, Tanu get ishti, give this get to my wife. Or he says to three people, kisru get ishti, write a get and give it to my wife. So the first case, it seems he has a get. In the second case, he's telling people to write a get and give it to their wife. What harielu, either the two or three, yechdevu should write, the yidnu and give it. Right. Now, in the diak is dafka them, right? The ones that the Baal said, Ava shliach loy, but then they're able to appoint a shliach. So you have a stira in Mishnayos. Kiss will get to two or three. The hakpada is on those two or three people. Our Mishnah says there is no hakpada. So how do you answer? We can solve the stiris. Rabbi Hassam, in that Mishnah where he says two or three people, Tanu or Kisru, Taimamai, what's the reason that they can't tell somebody else? Mishum B'zoyin Abal. The Baal is the one who should write the get. He's saying to these two people, listen, you write the get. Why is he saying these two people you should write the get? Or these three people? Because he doesn't know how to write the get. So if you're going to have to go ahead and give the shlichus over to somebody else, you're going to be mefarsim his bizoyon that he doesn't know how to write. So therefore, we don't. It's limited to the people he spoke to. Obviously, with these people, he wasn't mocked. He was comfortable with them when he tells them, "You write it." So you can't go ahead and publicize his ignoramucy, if it's such a word, that he doesn't know how to write a get. So therefore, Good. But not Mishnah, but Hocha, not Mishnah, Ba'aloi Kapit. He's not makbid if he points out the shliach. After all, he gave the get already. There's no hakmada. So one teretz again, a stira. Our Mishnah says that what you can give the get to somebody else. And sickness, not sickness, we dealt with that already. So Mitzias, you can go ahead and send it. What's the problem? We have a Mishnah that says, write a get, give to my wife. They can't give it over to anybody else. Why? And for the rabbi, the teretz. That's speaking of Bizayin. He's worried. That's why he said Kisru. Don't be Mefarsim. Our Mishnah where he's given over again. There's no Indian of Bizayin. There's no problem of sending what to another shliach. That's a biased teretz. Rava Amar, to answer this stira, this contradiction, Rava says, Mishum demilin in it. In our Mishnah, he gave over words. He gave over a get. What did he give over here, guys? Kisru get l'ishti. He said he gave over words. He did not give over a tangible ganoi thing. And says the Gemara, words cannot be given over to a shliach. Again, this is where I feel bad. I didn't really prepare. I should have done a much better idea of getting into the concept of mili. But here's the teretz. Shlichos, if you have this, you give it over to somebody else, that's possible. To go over and say words can't be given over. You need something tangible. So on Mishnah, where are you giving a get to a shliach? The shliach can go ahead and pass the tangible get over to somebody else. Conversely, over here where you gave nothing, you said write it and give it, but you said words can't be given over to shliach. Therefore, it's dafka limited to the people that he appointed shluchim, and not they can give it over. So two truths. Abayis teretz bizayin in the latter case, Rabbi's teretz mili le'musa v'shliach in the latter case. My binayu, what's the difference halachically between Abayis reason and Rabbi's reason? After all, guys, either way, in the second Mishnah, you can't give it over to anybody else. So it can be amit shliach matana. The difference would be a shliach lematana. If a person says to two people, go ahead and write a shtal matana, according to the Rabbi, the Thomas Shem Zayin, right? That also, right? The get is soymech on the person giving it. The shtar matana is the one that what is being makabel it. So there's no inyan of bizayin. Again, by a get, who writes it? The noisein or the makabel? The man or the woman? Obviously the man. By the matana, who needs a shtar matana? Not the one who gives the matana, the makabel matana to have proof. So Mamela, a kulait abaya, that wouldn't be a problem. If the guy said to two people, write a shtar matana and give it to my friend, they would do it. According to Rava, it's mili by nimsur v'shliach, and you can't do it. It'd have to be you and not somebody else. Again, so later baya, you could give it over to somebody else. There's no bizayin. Late Rava, it's mili and mili by nimsur v'shliach. We'll put the Rabbi Shmuel. And this machlokes between Abaye and Rava is contingent upon an earlier machlokes of Amoraim, Rav and Shmuel. Rav matana ain't a get. Says a matana is not like a get. So he would hold that what like a baya. Shmuel matana how is that get, and he would hold like Rav. That's good. We're good so far. Okay. Now, our Mishnah said, if you told this woman, if you told the man, the shliach, Tuli himenu chayfetz ploini, bring me from her chayfetz ploini, and go ahead and bring back and give her the get, then you're not able to go ahead and do it. Why? Because the guy can taina aim with soini shape doini bi'aracher. I want her to give you the pikadon. I don't want her to give someone else the pikadon. Amrei Shlakish, Khan Shana Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Rabbeinu HaKadosh, and this in he learned She'ena Shoyel v'Shoyel Hashel, just like one person's makbid that his pikadon should be in somebody else's hand. A person who borrows something from someone can't lend it to someone else. If you rent something, you can't rent it to somebody else. Just like over here, you don't want the pikadon to be someone else's hands. So too, I don't want the thing that I borrowed or the thing that I rented in somebody else's hands. So Amalai, right? Rabbi Yochanan said, right, that you say that Shein Rishol Roshal Hashel, I feel it Hinoikashel Besrabin Yodim Esai. You don't need this case of Tulhi Mena, the Chayfetz Pointy, to teach me that thing. It's pasha like that. Ein Ashar Rishol Hashel, every kid knows that. It's pasha. So what's the chiddush then of our Mishnah? You want to extrapolate a din from Mishnah where a person said, bring me the get, bring me the pikadon and give it the get. Ella, what's the chiddush of the Mishnah? The Gitin nami lehave. The chiddush is that it's also not a get. The chiddush is that what? That it's also not a get. Says Rashi, Ella, mishluch shlichus the get gufa tanu lo yishalchenem. Right, you should send it. Then sholchu biyad acher zimna the Gitin nami lehave kita. Well, come on, mefarish my zimna. That's the time. So guys, I go ahead. I tell Benji, listen, do me a favor. Go to my wife, Harriet. Go to my wife, Harriet, and I want you to do the following. I want you to bring me back from Harriet my golden knight trophy. And I want you to give a get. Benji goes. He goes to, if he can find Avrami Weinreb. He finds Avrami Weinreb somewhere driving. He says, here, do me a favor. Rabbi Stern told me he wants to give this get to Harriet, but he wants to take the chayfetz. Go ahead, take care of this. Okay? So now, I'm makbid that the golden knight trophy should be in Rabbi Weinberg's hands. I want it in Benji's hands. But can you view the get as a good get? Why not? It's like a palgina, right? The chiddush over here of Rabbi Yochanan is, since I don't want it in Rabbi Weinberg's hands, I feel that the scene of a get is not a get sometimes. Even a get is not fine. That's the chiddush of this case. And that's a big chiddush, because I see this clearly as two distinct shluchas. So the chiddush is, it's not two distinct shluchas. If that, I mocked it at kedekach that I don't want it in somebody else's hands and it ends up in Rabbi Weinberg's hands, it's not a good get. Even though apparently the golden knight trophy and the shlichus has nothing to do with each other. The get has nothing to do with each other. That's the chiddush over here. And let's see the Gemara, how the Gemara fares us. So, Ella, this is the chiddush. The Gitin nami lehave. Sometimes it's not a get. The naseh, right? We'll view the Baal saying to the shliach, give this chayfetz and bring the get back over here. K'misha amaloi al tigresha ella babayis v'kirsha ba'aliyah. Don't divorce her only in the house, and we went up to the attic. Al tigreshena ella b'yamin, right? Of using your right hand, v'kirsha b'smol. In that case, it would not be a good get. Right. Now, what's the case? Now, the kuli alma heched and nafka la'apei v'yovle chayfetz b'hod shakli minegita. Right. If the isha, Avrami Weinberg goes ahead, and he gives the right. He gives the chayfetz, and he takes it from her, right? If that's the case, where Avrami took the chayfetz, gave the wife gave the get to Harriet, Sai Rabbi Yochanan and Sai Reish Lakish will say what? It's a good get. Says Rashi, the afal gam, that even though I didn't want my golden knight's trophy in the hands of Avrami Weinberg. I wanted it by Benji. Shlichus the Gita le bato. The segment of the shlichus is not bato, right? Kechol shluchei Gita, like any shlichus of a get, sheyechoylin las shliach, that you're able to. I get like kapid baladav is there. The get any tolam chayfetz. I didn't make it contingent one upon the other. It was a separate thing. The efshe sheyelech v'yitla chayfetz. It's possible that wife will go take the chayfetz v'yishlach a get b'yad acher. In other words, if Benji would have gone ahead and given the Golden Knight's trophy, gotten from Harriet, and sent the get with Avrami Weiner, it would be a good get. And it's not. It stayed by Benji. It was in his hands all along. Could he appoint another shliach for a get? Why not? I didn't say not. So then it would work. Hilkach, afilu shina b'chayfetz. Even if Benji is mishana by giving the shlichus to Avrami regarding the trophy, ein zeh shina beget. It doesn't change the get. So kiba chayfetz v'achkat nasa. He's mekabel the chayfetz v'achkat nasa. So this is a shtickle of palgin and dibura, guys. That it's true. Ein mitzvah shepidani beracher, right? But we view it as two separate things. So ein achinami, I don't want the trophy in Avrami Weinberg's hands. But vis-a-vis it doesn't make a difference. The get, I wasn't makbid on, and therefore the divorce. Kuli Alma would say, right, that you're not divorced. Okay? However, ki pligi, when did they argue on the days? Heichi di amalei, shakal mina chayfetz, the hada havle gita. Oh, I'm makbid on the following. Take the chayfetz and then give her the get. Now I make it contingent one upon the other. The Azal Ihu, and Avrami Weimer goes, the Yav Lagita gives the get first, the Hadash Shoklam in Chayfetz, and then takes the trophy. In that case, Rabbi Yochanan Pasul boy. Rabbi Yochanan would say it's Pasul. It's the same way as saying divorce it with the right and you divorce with the left. Divorce her in the house and you divorce in the attic. Divorce her when you get the trophy. Don't divorce it when you don't get the trophy. Then the culture, right? The culture came to Shluchai with him himself. If Benji had done this, there would be batal. Certainly, if Avrami Weiner does it, it's batal, right? If Benji himself had done it, he didn't do my shlichus. I wanted him first to get the chayfetz and then go ahead and give the get. He didn't listen. Kol shekain, if he gave it over to Avrami, right, where you have the swara of David Sony. Reish Lakish machshir b'shluchai b'kol shekain boy, and Reish Lakish is machshir b'shluchai b'kol shekain boy. So that's the chiddush of that case. The chiddush of the case is that if he does change his makban on the order, that first receiving the trophy, the chayfetz, and then the get, we have a machlekes there. The Yochanan said even there it will be batal. That's the chiddush over there. Okay. That was speaking about bringing a get in Eretz Yisrael where you don't have to say b'fanei nechtam, b'fanei nechtam. The next mission is me speaking about where you're bringing a get in Eretz Yisrael and you have to say b'fanei nechtam and b'fanei nechtam. And maybe get from Medina Sayyam. Someone brings the get from Medina Sayyam, the chala, and he gets sick. So, right? So we said in the previous Mishnah, he could go ahead, right, and go ahead and make another shliach. Oysa shliach bebezdin. He goes to Bezdin, like u'mishalchay. V'amal lefneihem, v'fanei nichtav, v'fanei nechtav. Ve'in shliach achron tzarech shiyam v'fanei nichtav, v'fanei nechtav. Aloi mishliach Bezdin ani. Here we have a problem. Since it's in Chutz La'aretz, he has to say in front of you, it's in front of the son. So therefore, he can't just appoint a shliach. What he can do is he go to Bezdin, and Bezdin then takes over and makes the second person a shliach. It says Rashi, the Bezdin shliach mishalchay, Oysa the Bezdin shliach mishalchay, shetzarech harishon loymer b'fneihem. The Rishon has to say in front of Bezdin, right? Machloekes early in Masechta, how many? B'fneihem, b'fanei nich, b'fanei nechtam, b'fisha achron le'yuchel loymer. And then what does the achron say? Shliach Bezdin ani, I'm a shliach Bezdin, right? I'm a shliach Bezdin. And we have to assume that Bezdin. So here's what would happen, guys. So I'm sending a get to Harriet with Benji. Then and I'm the shliach, and now I can't make it. Unfortunately I stubbed my toe. I'm not able to go ahead and walk anymore. So I want to give it to Benji. He can't say b'fanei nechta, b'fanei nechta. I go ahead, go to Bezdin with Benji. Benji now is appointed by Bezdin. Benji shows up in Eretz Yisrael to Harriet in front of Bezdin and says, I'm a shliach of Bezdin. So the fact that he says I'm a shliach of Bezdin, then the Bezdin Eretz Yisrael knows what? That it was done, that Bezdin must have taken care of the b'fanei nechta aspect. That's the Nakud over here. Okay. Pretty easy Gemara. Let's see. Boy, me name Rabbi. We asked Rabbi the following question: Shliach, the shliach, mashra shliach, Eloi. Can the shliach of a shliach, can Benji make another shliach or not? So Amalahu, Eloi boy lahu. That's not a shay. Lamid tani, ain shliach achroin. When it says the last shliach, the chal the mashra shliach, mashra that he could make a shliach. El kiti boy lach, he mashra shliach bebezdin. I feel a shliach bebezdin. Can the Benji have to make a shliach in Bezdin or not in Bezdin? Amulei halami boilam the tani el oimer shliach Bezdin ani. Once you say shliach Bezdin ani, so Benji could appoint Avrami as a shliach in Bezdin. But nachma yitzchak masni hachi. Amulei Rabbanu Lavini Pereid Rabavo boy mi name Rabavo shliach the shliach of the shliach. He mashra shliach bebezdin like shliach bebezdin. Amulahu ti boilachu he mashra shliach ba'almai if you can make a shliach at all. So Amalei halikamat not going to be that's not a shaila. If not in a shliach achrein, chal the shliach mashra shliach he could make a shliach. Alikikami boilam bebezdin because after you bebezdin shliach bebezdin amalahu hanami leiti boilachu itani aloim shliach bezdin ani. I mean, once you say as long as the person's going to say shliach bezdin ani, it's going to be good. So Amar Rava shliach be'eretz Yisrael oisu kama shluchim. Right now, a shliach and bezdin can make many shluchim. He does that for the nachtam. You don't need Bezdin. So 1, 2, 3, you can go ahead and make shluchim. So we have shluchim A, B, and C. So now, Amar Ravashi, in Meis Rishon, if Shliach A dies, but Lukulan, then B and C are gone. Right? In other words, they're doing the Shliach of the Shlichus. Amar Maba Ravashi, heard the Abba, that Ravashi said, the Katnusi, he must have said when he was younger. Because Ilu Meis Baal, if the one who gave the get had died, Midi Mishasha Ispuhu, Kul Mikoich Manka Asu, Mikoich Baal Kasu. Isi Labal, Isnu Lakulai. Less Labal, less Lakulai. Outside. You have the Baal, Ruvain, Shliach A, B, and C. Okay? If Ruvain dies, can A give the get? Can B give the get? No. Can C give the get? No. In Shliach Lachamisa. Good? So now, Ruvain's alive. A dies. Says Rashi, B can't give the get because A died. B dies. C can't give the get because B died. The Havamina being that B is doing the shlichus of A and C is doing the shlichus of B. Says Mabar Rashi, no. Each one is doing the shlichus of Ruvain. So if A dies, we don't care. If B dies, we don't care. C would able to give the get as long as Ruvain's alive. Good? You know, who is doing the shlichus of the shlichus of the Baal? That's Ahu Gav with the shovel of Gitin Messiah. The guy went ahead and he sent a get to his wife. Amashliach lay it down a lot. I don't know who it is. So Amalei said the guy told the shliach, Zil Yov la Abba Bar Minyume. Go give it to Abba Bar Minyume. The Iu Yodallah. He knows who it is. The Lezel Yasim Mel. And I'll go give it to her. Okay, guys, listen to this. He tells the shliach, guy gives a get to a shliach, make him a shliach leilacha, to bring it to Harriet. He says, I don't know who Harriet is. So bring it to Abba Bar Minyume. He knows who it is. And here's the question. Is he now a shliach to bring it to Abba Bar Minyume, or he's still a shliach of Gerish and he just doesn't know who Harriet is? Tremendous nafkamina, correct? If he's a shliach of Gerishin, then he can appoint others. If he's not a shliach of Gerishin, then it's dead on arrival. Says the Gemara. That's the contingency over here. So came along the shliach and he did not find Abba Bar Minyume. However, he found Rabbi Vohu, Rav Chanina Bar Papa, Rav Yitzchak Nafcha, Yosef, Rav Safra Gabayu, and Amulei, and the Mamash Bezdin. Amulei, Masa Milach Kamei Didon, right? He said, give your words over in front of us. Yossi Abba Bar Minyume, and when Abba Bar Minyume comes, we'll go ahead and give it to him. So in other words, you make us our shlichim, and we'll give it over to him. Now, if he's a shliach for Gerishin, he can do that. If he's a shliach to give the Abba Bar Minyume, that he can't do. So Amalur Rav Safra was sitting there, but shliach shleimite in the Gerishin, who? He's not a shliach for Gerishin. He's not a shliach for Gerishin. He never was a shliach. He was just a shliach to give it to Abba Bar Minyume, right? So l'chayra, he could give it over to you. So ichsifu. So all the three Amoraim, they were embarrassed. Amar Rava came along Rava, Kapchinu Rav Safra l'tolse Rabbanan Smuche. And Rava commented that Rav Safra chopped down 3 people who had received smicha. So Amar Rav Ashi, my Kapchinu, what do you mean? Mika Amalei, did he tell the shliach Abba Bar Minyume should divorce of Le'at? He didn't say that. In other words, he never lost his shlichus. He went ahead and said, you're still a shliach la'ilacha. Just bring it to Abba Bar Minyume. So therefore, the Rabbanan would have every right, therefore, to go ahead and be mekabeleh. That was one lashon. Ikad the Ami, there was another lashon. Ikad the Ami, there was another lashon. Amar Rava, right? That Amar Rava. Kapchinu Rav Safra l'tolsi Rabbanan smuchei v'tuusa, right? That he made a mistake. In other words, Rava is saying now that in the first lashon, Rava was saying you guys blew it. In the second lashon, he's agreeing with Rav Ashi. My tuusa kamalei Abba Bar Minyume v'le'at. Did he say that Abba Bar Minyume? 1 second. So you made a mistake. It was a mistake, and you were correct. You were correct. Now, Omar Rav Ashi now is Rav Ashi, who in the first lashon was saving face for the 3, and Rava, who found the 3 wrong, In the second lashon, the way Rashi learns, Rava is saving face, and Rav Ashi is finding them wrong. So in other words, he made a mistake. So Rav Ashi, my tuusa, my ka'amalei, he said, Abba Menyumi Garshen of Layat, right? He said, Abba Menyumi should go ahead and divorce him, and not you. So therefore, you were correct. You were wrong in appointing them shlichas. Okay. I think that's the pshat. I think that's the pshat. Let's see Rashi over here. Ikadiyami, the Rava Amar she'ena chashuva, ena tshuva, elabetois kapacha. Right. In other words, right. That Rava is saying that you were right. You didn't knock them down. From Rav Ashi, no. My tuusa shapi kumchinu. No, that's the right pshat. Okay. So guys, in the first lashon, Rava said that Rav Safra knocked you down. Rashi said no. He's still shliach for gerushin. In the second lashon, Rabbi said no, they made a mistake, and Rabbi Ash said no, you didn't make a mistake. You were only made a shliach to give to Rabbi Yumi. You were not made a shliach to go ahead and chop them down, and therefore it's you were wrong in going ahead and doing that. Okay, I will stop over here. Okay, tomorrow night, Bez Hashem will be back. Okay, tomorrow night, Bez Hashem will be back.
Welcome back, Suda, maybe.